Thanks for joining one of these children's messages. This week we have another testimony time that's coming to us from someone that you have probably seen before. If not, you have certainly heard her. Her name is LaCrosse, and she is our music director here at Linwood Reformed Church. She's the person that provides so many amazing songs during our worship, whether on piano, on organ, and she has been brave enough and kind enough to share a small bit of her testimony story today. So please listen, enjoy, and Jean, thank you for sharing your story today.
What's interesting is how I started, and it was when I was very young. There was a very small church in Scroon Lake of Independent Baptist or Evangelical Church. The entire population in it was 30. Their annual meeting was usually, the minister said, "We have an oil bill, who can help pay it?" And it was sort of, that was it. The minister, who was paid, I believe, $5 a week, and then he had a job. He came to my parents and said, "I understand you have a daughter that plays the piano." And so I started there when I was about 12. Well, my mother was a woman of deep faith, and that was very obvious with her very simple prayers and dependence on God for all kinds of things. I was fortunate enough to be with her on her final days on earth, which was at 94 years old, and she repeated the Lord's Prayer over and over and over and over again for a period of a couple of days. They were typical family. My mother took care of the home and the children. My father took care of everything else. And he played square dance music, mostly, and old-time popular hits, because dancing where I grew up was oftentimes in a barn dance. It was always square dancing and round dancing. So it was like 3 square dances, which are fast and furious and fun, and then 3 more lovely, round dances where you dance as close as partners. My father did take lessons from a neighbor, but oftentimes people that play don't have a lot of experience musically. And when I first started to play, I was playing what they call by ear. You just find the notes on the piano and play them. There isn't any music for you. In school, the graduating class in my class in school was 20 people. And so we encouraged other students to learn to play anything. Whatever was lacking, you would say, "Oh, by the way, you should play the trombone." So by that, we had an orchestra. And piano's not used in orchestra like in school, not usually. So I decided, okay, well, I want to play in the orchestra too, so okay, I'll play the cello. So I did it poorly, but enough to play in the orchestra. And I was contacted. Basically it was another organist that was here. And she wanted to go on leave for a couple of weeks. And so I took her place, and I've been here ever since. I had a long history with the Reformed Church. I've been at Helderberg Reformed, Altamont Reformed, Bethany Reformed, Linwood Reformed, and West End Presbyterian. So you can tell I've been doing this a very long time. A few years ago, just as these children that are in the churches are growing and they're taking instruments, I've suddenly discovered I have within this church, trumpets and trombones and flutes and violins and clarinets and pianos. And so I began searching music and finding things that I could possibly use with this group of all different age students at all different levels, and have them be able to play together and maybe play and bring joy in one of the services. And so we worked and we struggled a little bit, and we did trips up and down the stairs with music stands and instruments and papers flying all over the place. And they lined up all across the balcony there, and they were playing for the services. We tried to play at Christmas and Easter. And I believe it was the second Easter. So we had played Christmas, Easter, and then another Christmas. And it was coming up on Easter. And so they were going to play, and I had been playing the piano with them to keep everybody in line. And we started the service, and they're playing, and I'm discovering that they're playing and they don't need me. And I kept softening down, softening down, softening down, until I just completely stopped playing. And they were doing it all on their own, and the congregation was singing right with them. And it was like, they got it. They got it. That was a great moment. Afterwards, one of the parents came running into this fellowship hall and said, "Jean, I heard what you were doing. You just let them go, you know." I think it would go, what do I lean on? What is always there? God first, music next. It's the thing I go to. It's always been there for me. I know that it isn't me. I couldn't do anything if it weren't for God. But I love bringing music out of people. And I think with the choirs, there's just nothing like it. When I can be with people and put this song together using different voices and having them grow and struggle, and then get to be able to prepare it and give it to somebody else. That's, I would say, proud joy, yeah.